Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jacy.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 100.
Woohoo!
Woo!
On Now You Know. Before we get started, I want to talk about the Patreon giveaway at the end of the show. Don't forget about that. That's so much fun. And also, if you haven't watched our Tesla special earnings call video, you should watch that because so much important information came out during that. All right, so everyone's been asking me, what are you going to do for your 100th episode? We're so busy writing the news. We didn't have much time, but we do have that new cool intro, so that was something.
Yes. And, let's not give it too much fanfare. I mean, we knew that we were going to basically get to 100 after we did maybe the 5th episode.
Really? You knew?
Maybe the 20th. But anyway, we're going to continue to do the news. This was not some huge accomplishment to reach level 100, but we would like to do some special shout-outs, some special thank yous.
True.
So let's get into that.
Support for this episode of Tesla Time News comes from Wonder Capital. This is how I invest in solar energy, and we're going to talk about it more at the end of the show.
So everyone has been asking us, what are you going to do for your 100th episode? Are there going to be fireworks? Are you going to be doing a big jump over the Grand Canyon in Sparky? Are you going to be, parachuting down from a helicopter? And I mean, this show is a news show. We're just here to talk to you about the news, but we have a lot of people who have helped us out to get us where we are today. And so we want to do some thank yous. I think that is what we want to do for our 100th episode, is to thank some people who have made this show as amazing as it is.
And we didn't get here without you.
No, absolutely. So in no particular order, let's just get started.
Yeah, Sobi and Max from Avoto Rentals up in Montreal. Wow, two of the most generous people. They helped us put together that Model 3 test ride event in May and other things. I just love you guys.
Right. Nathan from our visit to the Space Coast.
Oh, I remember that.
When we didn't have time to get footage of the NASA Space Museum, yes, we were able to have footage that was awesome.
And remember Frank and Carol when we went out to San Francisco?
Yes.
They showed us their awesome studio. We spent a lot of great time with them. Yep. I just want to thank them. They were fantastic.
Toolbjorn, I mean,
he's always got our back. Yep. He helped us with our whole European tour. We did so much fun stuff with him. The Ice Hotel. I mean, just great time.
Getting to the front section of the semi event, could not have done it without him.
Steven. He's been guest hosting with us. He's been driving our motorcycles, our electric motorcycles. He went to Europe with us. He always has our back. A huge shout out to you, Steven.
Alex from E for Electric. Thank you so much. We've collaborated on a bunch of things together. You're great.
Trevor from Model 3 Owners Club. We interviewed him in bed together.
Right.
What a great guy.
Yep.
Gene from Teslarati. I mean, what an awesome site full of news that they go find every week. Amazing.
Rich Rebuilds. I definitely would not have pulled a drivetrain out of a Model S if it weren't for you.
And he helped you cut your speaker line on your Nissan Leaf.
I can't tell you how much it saved my sanity.
Mr. G, he taught us how to weld. He came up here from New Jersey. He brought his welding equipment. Now we're about to go buy our own welder.
Thank you so much.
Seth and Fred from Electric. What an amazing news site. Right. I mean, if you're not going there to get your information, I don't know where you're going because these guys...
Probably here. But I mean... Okay. But thank you so much, Seth and Fred. You guys you find the
news, nail it every week.
You bring it down every week. Absolutely.
Brent and Bobby. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have the show.
The show would look like crap. We would have to record it on a phone. All of our mistakes
and flubs not be watching us.
Would be in here. You'd just be getting a lot of what was the name of that guy?
Yeah.
Absolutely couldn't have done it without you.
Ethan and Matthew, our interns, and all the great interns that we've had over the years. But fantastic group of interns and working hard for us all the time. Let's talk about the newsroom.
Right.
This is kind of new, but even today we used them. We were at last minute about to go to the show. We needed some data. We put a request out there. 20 minutes later, we had the answer to this really complicated research question.
So helpful. Can't thank you guys, all of you, so much.
Patreon patrons.
This show would not be here.
We have over 1,200 Patreon patrons who support us financially every week. Could not do this without you.
It's not just financial support. It's mental support to just be like, oh, I guess we're not crazy, even though everyone tells us we're crazy.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Our video contributors. Every week we have a video contributor telling us an awesome story from their little corner of the world.
Right.
Thank you for doing those.
Community mail time contributors, telling us a little story, little picture, little something. It feels really great to hear your stories.
Tesla employees. We try and help you with Be Free, but you guys are the ones making the cars that are changing the world.
Right.
Can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
We've had so many amazing interviews in this past 100 episodes. Jacy Bingler, who is the COO of Ecosia. Toby McCartney, who's the CEO of MacReber. Mark Hanchett, the CEO of Atlas Motors. Mark Fronmeyer, the CEO of Arcimoto. Joy Skinner from Alsan Renewables. Brady Knight, the co-founder of Spice Restaurant. Russ with Zero Motorcycles. Lex Fridman from MIT. Nick Gogarty from SolarCoin. Delaney Reynolds, she's amazing. Our friend Fiona, what an amazing interview that was. CEO Lewis Horn, and also Albin and Isaac from Unity Motors in Sweden. Weeby Walker, who's going around the world right now in an electric car. Bo from A Better Route Planner. Patrick Sherwin, who's the CEO of GoSun. Arkady Fiedler, who drove from South Africa to Poland in an electric car in a Nissan Leaf. Our friend Michael from SFSF makes awesome t-shirts for us. Wonder Capital, who supports our show. Franz, JB, and last but not least,
Elon Musk.
If it weren't for you, Elon, we would not be here.
No.
Our community would not be here. You're the one who drives us every week, Elon, because you are doing this amazing, there's no words for what you do.
Right. We would be the crazy guys that we were, 10, 15 years ago, talking about, electric cars. And everyone would have been like, okay, cool.
I'm going to move away from you.
Oh, all right. That'll certainly be helpful.
You know what? I forgot one group of people.
The most important, probably. I mean, we really couldn't, we couldn't have done it without our Patreons, but we certainly couldn't have done it without you, the viewers. And subscribers and likers. We couldn't do it without the people who watch this show every week. If no one watched this show, we wouldn't have any Patreon patrons.
Nope.
We wouldn't have anyone in the newsroom. We wouldn't have been able to interview anyone.
Nope.
Because no one would talk to two crazy guys with a camera.
Right.
We can't do anything without the subscriber numbers that we have.
That's right.
It's amazing the power that we have because we can call up companies and say, hey, we want to talk to you about your cool, sustainable thing. And they say, okay. And we say, we have 60,000 subscribers. And they say, well, our CEO would like to interview with you. Because, and I want to point this out also. I've been looking at our analytics, been looking at our demographics. Our viewers are definitely, far and away, the most intelligent viewers of any YouTube channel on YouTube.
Yeah, that's totally true.
I mean, maybe there's some like, MIT tiny little thing of just, PhD graduates or something like that. But they're definitely not 60,000 of them.
No.
That's for sure. So you guys are amazing, and we couldn't do this show without you. Let's get to some news because we have a lot to talk about.
That's right. Road and Track just did an amazing article on the Model 3 Performance Edition, and they basically were gushing over it. Let me read you some quotes here. This is from Road and Track's Bob Sorokanich. He took the 450 horsepower Model 3 Performance out on the track. He went to Lime Rock Park, which is a 1.5 mile track, and some cool things here. He was able to take the Model 3 out for 4 full laps at high speed without any slowdown whatsoever. And then as things started to heat up, as electric cars do, and he saw on the 5th lap a slight slowdown, he was able to just go park it for 20 minutes, let it cool down, and then able to go right out there and start cranking it again.
Right.
The Model 3 Performance has a nifty trick no other Tesla can do. Lift, throttle, oversteer, coded right into the software. In track mode, the regenerative braking is increased significantly, up to 0.3 Gs of deceleration, compared to a maximum of 0.2 Gs in street trim. When you lift in a corner, the regen tosses all the weight forward, loading up the front axle. The rear tires, now regenerating under much less weight, break loose. The stability control looks the other way. Presto, oversteer. At this point, if you were to say nail the accelerator, the system would overdrive the front axle motor, powering the front tires to pull you neatly out of the corner in a controlled return to the line. You'll kill me for saying it, but this sports sedan has the same toss and catch that makes the best front drive hot hatches such a joy to hustle, bolstered by no joke instant horsepower and the predictability of vectoring all-wheel drive. The car minimizes distraction, with no engine noise to outshout everything, and no concerns over shift points or power band. You can focus on the most elemental part of track driving, the tires. I've never had such a clear understanding of the millisecond changes in front-end grip through a corner. You hear and feel everything going on at the contact patches, even at 100 plus. Pushing wide through turn 1, dab in a little regen, load up that front axle, and get ready to rotate. Feeling light over Lime Rock's puckering uphill? You'll hear it and correct for it at a level you've never experienced in a bellowing internal combustion car.
This review, is very technical. This is very sports car. This is almost racing level kind of detail.
Right.
But I think it's really important because Tesla didn't just sort of throw in the same software that they threw in for the Model S, the Model X, just like a go and don't spin, don't skid. They made it fun. They made this track mode basically like a really fun drive.
Yeah, let me tell you. So Tesla manager of chassis control, Michael Neumeier, said, our track mode doesn't disable features, it adds them. So it uses traction between the two motors and slip distribution instead of brakes, which gives more control to the driver.
This is insane, okay? Because this is the Model 3. This is the lower tier car. It's insane that it has this amount of power and is so fun to drive.
Yeah, and then
this is road and track.
Yeah, and then you pointed out that it has double wishbone suspension, which
comes straight from Formula One.
Yeah.
Double wishbone suspension keeps all of the, it doesn't mess with the camber as you're driving. It's the premier, driving experience. And because they built the car from the ground up, they built, they didn't build this cheap box with an electric motor on it, which they totally could have done, right? They didn't. They built, an amazing, grippy, drivey vehicle.
Yeah. Here's some cool new news.
Yeah.
The Model 3 performance has been added to the referral program.
So this means that you can use our referral code if you're buying the Performance Model 3. We will come to your house. We will drive the Tesla Roadster, next generation Roadster, to your house. If you're getting the Performance Model 3, I would assume you're going to be interested in this. And we'll take you for a test spin in the next generation Roadster. What this will also do, we'll give you unlimited supercharging in your Performance Model 3 for the life of the car.
Yeah, for free.
Now, this does end September 16th. After September 16th, it'll go to 1 year of free supercharging. But that means for the period of time where they're going to be making the most Performance Model 3s, and if you order now, it's just a few months wait.
Right.
You can get a ride in the Tesla Roadster, and you can get free supercharging, which is something that no other Model 3 owner is going to have.
Nope. And don't forget that if you use our referral code to sign up for the newsletter, you can still win a chance to race the semi-truck.
Right, which I'm going to kick your butt at.
So you may be asking, how's Tesla Energy doing?
Right, it's not as exciting as, spinning cars and loading up the front axle and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. Remember that the Tesla built the 129 megawatt hour battery in South Australia, and the whole big story at the time was, can he do it in 100 days or will it be free? Yeah, he did it. And then the media was kind of like, okay, well, let's move on to something else. Those are just boxes.
Let's talk about there's an alligator in someone's backyard. Let's talk about that, Janet.
But what it did do, these boring boxes, is that they have lowered the grid maintenance by 90%.
Wow.
So for people in the energy industry, this is amazing. Now, I just want to point out that doesn't have to just happen in Australia. Up to the north of us, our friends in Vermont, there is a power program going on there with Green Mountain Power, where Tesla Powerwalls are being installed at people's houses. They can lease them for $15 a month. And the agreement is you get this Powerwall, but you have to let the utility control it.
So that means that you get a Powerwall in your house. So if you lose power or whatever, it's now your Powerwall, and you get to benefit from that energy. That's great. But for the remainder of the time, the grid is basically benefiting from being able to charge up and discharge that energy so that way they can better use solar energy and other forms of energy that they're generating.
Exactly. Let me give you an example. On July 5th of this year at 5 p.m., all these people went home. It was a really hot day. They flicked on their air conditioners, and normally the grid would have had to go buy power quickly at a very high rate. Instead, they were able to just steal some power from these Powerwalls, keep the cost low. Now, you might be asking, well, how much money are you talking about, Zach? That's only a few pennies, right?
Right. No.
Over that week, they saved $500,000.
In a week.
And that's
in one frickin' week.
Right. They didn't have to turn on any peaker plants. They didn't have to do any of that because they could just take the power they needed from these Powerwalls. And this program isn't even fully done yet. They're going to have over 2,000 installed in Vermont. They're probably only at around 500 right now.
Right.
This is unbelievable. If they saved that much money in 1 week, imagine what they could do over the next few years.
Right, and we've been talking about the millions of dollars that the Australia battery has been saving. So what this has done is it's really opened the eyes of people who thought that this probably just couldn't happen. It just wouldn't be practical. It wouldn't work.
Batteries don't work for grids.
You can't work it on the grid.
No,
I've tried
I've never heard of
I had
that.
a lead acid battery and
No,
it didn't work.
didn't.
This works. And it's amazing because now people have seen that it works in big scale. We've seen it work in people's homes, and we've seen it work in distributed grid kind of scales that we've seen in Vermont.
That's right.
And so Tesla Energy has been exploding in terms of energy deployment, which is batteries.
That's right. In Q2, Tesla installed 203 megawatt hours of energy deployment. That's batteries. And that's up 106% from Q2 of last year.
That's double.
During the first 2 quarters, deployments were up 450% compared with last year. And the goal for 2018 is to triple 2017's deployments.
Triple. These are amazing numbers for any company. If you were to triple anything, that's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You were on the ground floor. That's amazing.
Tesla Solar installed 84 megawatts in Q2, which is an 11% increase from Q1. And as we heard on the Q2 earnings call, Elon said that plans are to have the energy division of Tesla outsize the auto division eventually.
Right. This is
Huge.
huge. I mean, we're just at the very beginning of something that's going to be bigger than the auto part of Tesla, which is huge and growing explosively. Again, Tesla, what an amazing company. Everyone is so negative about it for no reason.
So get this, Jacy. You know that Tesla does not release monthly data on their sales figures on their cars.
Right.
That's a problem because Reuters just released their top 20 vehicles sold in the U.S., and they had to leave out Tesla's Model 3 because, well, they didn't have any data. So I thought that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And so did many of our viewers. So we've got the list here. This is Reuters' top 20 list. And, well, we know that we don't know exactly how many Model 3s they sold in July, but we know roughly. So we're going to say that they sold 14,250 cars.
Yep.
If that's true, then they are at the 18 spot.
So that means that they beat out the Elantra, the Sorento, and the Optima.
Right.
Those are cars that you see all the time.
And this is a list that includes like the Ford F-150. This isn't just cars in their class.
Right. So
this is all cars.
All cars. Number 18 in the U.S.
Now, don't even take my word for it. Let's go to Clean Technica. They have a more conservative number of 13,500, but that would still put Model 3 at number 8 on their car sales list. Now, that's just for cars that are cars, not like trucks.
Right. But still, wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yes, exactly.
That should be talked about more. I mean, how are we not talking about this? How is it that Tesla is going to go out of business and riding hype trains and stuff? This is insane.
You will be hearing about this. Here's another one. Remember in 2016, Elon said that they will be offering an optional tow hitch for the Model 3 eventually.
Right.
We haven't heard anything about it until now. We just saw this picture of a Model 3 spotted in California and Nevada traveling with a U-Haul trailer.
Right. So this might not be exciting for people who live in America because we don't like trailers unless it's a huge trailer or something like that. But those of us in Europe, hello, Europeans love trailers. Yeah. They love small cars with trailers.
It makes so much sense.
A ton of sense.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
If you need to pick up something, at the home store or some tree or something,
right?
Why drive
around a pickup truck all the time?
Just
right.
Borrow a trailer.
Right. We talked about on our in-depth last week about the Ford F-150, and everyone in Europe was like, what truck is this? I've never seen one.
Right.
Exactly. It's because everyone drives things with hitches.
When we were in Denmark and Sweden, we counted the number of trailers and the number of pickup trucks, and I forget the exact numbers.
It outweighed it 10 to 1.
Yeah. So Panasonic will be increasing battery production. So you remember that Panasonic owns about 30% stake in Tesla Gigafactory, which currently has 10 battery production lines.
Yep.
They are going to be expanding to 13 lines for a 30% increase of making the 2170 battery cell. And that's because, well, they need them for the Model 3 ramp.
Wow. Again, Tesla has this huge unsung hero of battery production. Every other car manufacturer has to rely on LG Chem, CAT-L, Panasonic. They're just relying on these companies. They're pouring money into developing their battery, manufacturing, whereas these companies don't have anything.
So how do you cool a nuclear power plant, Jacy?
Well, you usually would use seawater or a river or some, body of water. It's usually nice, cool water. You run it through your nuclear facility and everything is happy dandy.
Well, guess what happened to the Ringhals 2 nuclear power plant in Sweden?
It ran perfectly fine and there were no problems?
then we wouldn't be talking about it.
Oh, dear.
What happened to the ocean is it's warming up, right? Because we've had this unbelievable heat wave. And so it warmed up to 25 degrees Celsius, which is 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is too warm to cool the plant.
That's like bathwater warm.
Yeah. So here's a quote from Ringall's Sven Anders Andersson, who's the production manager. He said, when we reached 25 degrees, we chose to reduce to 55% power, but now the temperature has gone above 25 degrees, and Ringall's 2 has been shut down.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No, you know what else is not good?
What?
It's not the only one. Plants throughout Europe are reducing power due to cooling problems.
This doesn't just affect nuclear power plants.
Nope.
This also affects coal power plants.
That's right.
So all throughout Germany, there are all of these coal power plants that have to close down.
That's right, because you got to cool them.
Right. Now, is this because we're just running out of water?
It's because
No.
No.
It's because the water is too hot. So this does not affect hydropower.
Nope.
Does it affect solar power?
Nope.
No, it does not. So, I mean, the thing here is it's almost ironic that the coal plants are shutting themselves down by causing climate change.
Exactly.
Like, that is so funny and also, like,
Horrific.
And it shows that we can't just rely on fossil fuels forever, because if the coal plants are going to shut down because it's too hot, oh, well, how are we going to get our power?
Good point.
We need solar energy just to fix that problem. So we may as well reverse the climate change, switch to solar energy, try and figure out how to get the CO2 out of our oceans and out of the air.
You're too rational, Jacy. You're never going to get elected talking like that.
I suppose
But
so.
you know what's good about warm oceans? You can ride your electric surfboard on them. Check this out, Jacy. This is the Rävik by the company Awake. And this is an electric surfboard, which means you don't need waves. Look how fast this thing can go. It can go a top speed of 35 miles an hour just without waves.
Wow. And the acceleration, 0 to 31 miles an hour in 4 seconds.
Yep.
This is, I mean, it's not Tesla speed, but you're on water.
You know, I'm getting pretty excited about this. I mean, it can charge in 80 minutes, and you can go for a 40-minute ride.
Right.
Let's get one.
All right. It's only $24,600.
I don't need one that badly.
No, you don't?
No.
Because I could buy about 3 used Leafs for that price. I mean, I could have my own little fleet of cars.
That's
It's very expensive.
very expensive.
I mean, fun.
Very fun.
Very fun.
Hey, if any of our viewers out there want to send us one to check out,
Absolutely.
that'd be great.
We'll check it out.
Tesla has patented safer battery technology. This patent here shows how this new design would isolate damage caused by failed battery cells from affecting the rest of the pack.
So in a typical battery pack, if a cell gets ruptured, it can cause a thermal runaway, like a domino effect. And we've seen this before, that damaged batteries have been burning for like hours, and you just keep hearing this pop, pop, pop of each of the cells bursting into flames. This new design would keep that from happening.
Innovation.
Now, this is stuff that when all these new tech battery developers are talking about, our batteries, can't catch on fire, they're bulletproof, whatever. This kind of dampens down the effect of needing such a system like that. If you can have your just cheapo bajeepo lithium-ion batteries that won't just super catch on fire, then
Problem
really
solved.
there's not as much of an advantage of going to this, solid state unknown territory, at least for a few more years. So we've talked about Volkswagen a lot on this show. A lot of bad news for Volkswagen.
You don't have more bad news, do you?
I do, unfortunately. And we've usually been talking about their diesel cars or their petrol cars because they don't make them clean.
Right.
Unfortunately, you'd think that you couldn't make an EV dirty, but they have somehow managed to do that.
What?
So there's about 124,000 Volkswagen EVs due to a non-compliance with the European end-of-life vehicle legislation because of cadmium contamination, might need to be recalled.
Cadmium?
Yeah, cadmium.
That's like bad. That's toxic.
It's way bad for you.
Why is it in there?
It's in there.
So they're recalling all of these
They're
cars?
going to have to recall all of these cars. I mean,
but it ends there, right? That's the end of the bad news.
well, unfortunately, you'd think that there would be like one form of vehicle that they could really get right.
Natural gas.
Yeah, due to corrosion of gas cylinders on some vehicles, basically the compressed natural gas tanks can burst, causing a huge explosion, serious injury, and death. So there doesn't appear, unless they make some kind of steam or wind-powered vehicle.
Maybe they make a bicycle?
I wouldn't want to get on one. I will tell you that much, because they can't seem to make anything safe.
VW. All right, it's time for the lightning round.
All right, here we go. Atari games are coming to Teslas.
Wait, slow down. Wait, so you're going to buy a console and bring it with you?
Nope. So according to a tweet from Elon, he said some of the best classic Atari games coming as Easter eggs in Tesla version 9, release in about 4 weeks.
What?
Thanks, Atari.
What do we get?
We're going to get Pole Position, Tempest, Missile Command.
I used to play those as a kid.
Yeah, controls for pole position will be linked to the actual steering wheel of the car, so you can only play it while parked. I think that's very fair.
Okay.
I don't want to see people playing it on the highway when the steering wheel also controls their real car, so it's good. Elon tweeted, he said, if you're into video game development, consider applying to Tesla. We want to make super fun games that integrate the center touchscreen, phone, and car IRL, so in real life.
Yeah, and he said he really wants to make the car as fun as possible.
I just want to harken back to when Pokemon Go came out.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Yeah.
And throughout the country, throughout the globe, just millions of people were roving the streets like you've never seen before, playing this dumb app game where they collected virtual Pokemon.
Be careful.
It's gonna, I mean, I'm just saying, you put it in a car and now all of a sudden you don't have to walk everywhere.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Americans are gonna love it.
Uber is declaring a full stop on autonomous semis.
This is really unfortunate.
So Eric Mayhofer, the head of Uber Advanced Technologies Group, says, we believe having our entire team's energy and expertise focused on self-driving cars is the best path forward. You remember in 2016, they had purchased Otto, which showed off its self-driving tech-powered Budweiser beer truck along a 120-mile route in Colorado. But they want to focus now strictly on their cars.
Just on the cars, which kind of leaves Tesla wide open for development of autonomous trucks.
That's right.
I mean, there are a few smaller companies, but obviously none as big as Uber. So for those companies, they're probably going, yes. And the Tesla's also just like, yes.
You're excited about this one, Jacy. This is the Tesla Party/Camper mode. According to Elon, we're adding a party and camper mode soon to the S, 3, and X, so your car can maintain airflow, temperature, selective lights, music, and power devices for 48 hours or more while parked. Big batteries rock.
So, I mean, never before could you have a car as a part of your tent, unless it was completely defunct. You'd die,
right?
Because carbon monoxide. But now, I mean, we need tents now that can integrate with Tesla cars, like you see here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're saying, if you're watching right now, just handing you another one of our brilliant gems of an idea.
Oh, yeah. Make a tent that interfaces with a Tesla. Genius idea. Also, this means you can have a tent with climate control. You can have a tent. You can be out in the wilderness. You can be basically glamping. You have air conditioning in your tent.
I want one for the Model X that goes around the doors so that you can encompass the whole car. That would be so cool.
Crazy.
So Nissan is selling their battery division.
This is just seems like a really dumb move.
It seems short-sighted. Yeah, Envision will acquire Nissan's battery manufacturing operations in Tennessee, England, and Japan.
Right. The move
why
here,
are they doing that?
A lot of car manufacturers are turning to battery manufacturers, and instead of scooping them up and saying, you are ours now, you will make batteries for us, they give them loads of money to develop manufacturing capabilities for their cars, but they don't acquire them.
Right.
It's a weird thing.
It goes into what we've been saying, that I think car manufacturers think that this is a boring period, 5 years of like lithium ion, but there'll be this exciting period in 5 years. So we'll wait for that exciting period to come.
Right. If you're not making EVs in this 5-year period, you're going to be left behind.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the battery technology, explodes and everyone who's making lithium ions, doesn't know how to use this new battery technology. You need to know about motors. You need to know about cooling systems. Like, there's no magic bullet for cooling in a car.
Right.
Like, heat is always going to be an issue, and if you're not focusing on it now, it's going to continue to be an issue later on.
This is why I love Tesla, Jacy. Tesla's donating millions of dollars to Nevada schools. $1.5 million initial grant has gone to their K-12 schools, and $36 million more is going to follow over the next few years for STEM, including robotics, battery research, energy sustainability, and even a solar rollers program, which would challenge high school students to design, build, and race solar-powered, radio-controlled vehicles. How cool is that?
So cool. The grant will also be used to provide 250 scholarships for students in underserved communities where qualifying individuals would attend overnight learning programs, as well as a pledge to support the state's veterans.
Yeah, so get this. Gigafactory 1 is expected to increase regional employment by 10%, with a total economic impact of around $100 billion. This impact is expected to increase Nevada's regional GDP by 20%, generating around $1.9 billion within the state of Nevada.
This is important because it means that state legislators in Nevada are going to be like,
pro-Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla is awesome, and you wish you had it in your state.
So AP version 9 is going to be coming out soon. And Ryan McCaffrey, our buddy over at Ride the Lightning podcast, just tweeted at Elon. He said, question regarding autopilot on-ramp to off-ramp update due in version 9. Will it be rolled out to enhanced AP owners, or will it require full self-driving add-on? Initial descriptions of the two seem to boil down to enhanced autopilot equals freeway features, full self-driving equals surface street features. Is that a fair assessment?
Elon said, we'll work with current hardware OTA update. So basically, every car will get this version 9.
So version 9 is the latest update in 2 years, which is really exciting. And it's going to be closer, we think, to level 3 autonomy. And the other cool thing here is it's going to allow over-the-air updates from the app. Can you explain that?
So usually you have to go into your Tesla and your Tesla says, hi, there's an update. I can update right now. Aww. And you're like, oh, I have to drive to work right now. And a lot of people are really bummed whenever this happens because they want the new update right away.
This is
it takes like 30 minutes to update.
This is just what Vinny Bamboozolini told us.
Right.
That we're just going to get spoiled.
But now it'll send a notification to your app. So when you're going to bed that night or, at some point, you're going to get a little notification that says, hey, we're ready for an update. Do you want to do it? And you can click yes, right from bed.
So Tesla's on a hiring spree. Remember a couple months ago, they were on a firing spree.
Yes.
They fired 9% of their workforce, but now, according to ThinkNum, 23.5% increase in new job openings at Tesla in July.
Wow.
Over 2,000 open positions, mostly at the Fremont factory, and then at the headquarters in Palo Alto and at the Gigafactory 1.
Wow. So fund manager David Einhorn at Greenlight Capital was underperforming because he's been holding a Tesla short for over a year now, which is not a good idea. This is the second biggest loss in his holdings last quarter.
That's not good.
He said that he isn't renewing his Model S lease, saying, on a personal note, David is happy that his Model S lease ended. There were growing problems with the touchscreen and power window. And he is excited to get the Jaguar I-Pace, which has gotten excellent reviews. I wonder if maybe it's a little bit of sour grapes there, or just
it could
a little bit of a personal...
A little bit.
Why are you driving a Tesla if you're shorting it, is my question.
No idea.
What does that say
about your reasoning skills?
Right, and what does that
I love this car. Now that it's down, and I don't love it anymore.
Right, now that this company is doing well, I'm not happy. What are his investors thinking?
So just keep in mind, shorts in the past couple of days have lost almost $2 billion, according to S3 analysts. So someone tweeted to Elon, the billionaire president of Greenlight Capital, David Einhorn, isn't renewing his Tesla lease.
Elon said, it's tragic. We'll send Einhorn a box of shorts to comfort him through this difficult time. What was this guy thinking? I don't know.
I want to talk more about shorts, but I want to talk about it on our Patreon bonus story.
Yes,
so
we're going to be talking about that over there.
All right, it's time for our video contributor story. Check out this story, Jacy. This is from our buddy Howard, showing how the Model 3 summons in and out of his garage.
This is Summon on Model 3 version 2018.24.7. Once you've set up Summon on your car's screen, you can go ahead and open up the app and operate Summon from your cell phone. Hi there, Zach and Jacy. I'm going to show you how to use Summons, the latest. So here we go. Connecting to vehicle, so now I'm going to have the vehicle come forward. Hold it down. It's handshaking, and here it comes. It's a really tight fit. It's an 8-foot door with just 6 inches further in the length before it hits that white cabinet in the back. And let's see if it stops before it hits me. Let up. That's it. Now we're going to go back in reverse. Go pull back into the garage. And I'll hold it down until it comes within 6 inches of that white cabinet in the back, and it'll stop. On future tries, it did stop within the 6 inches without me letting up on the button. Doing a little minor adjusting there. It's a close fit. I have to get it just right so I can open my door. So here it is, pulling in and stopping just about 6 inches short of that white cabinet. If you look on the driver's side, there's not enough room to even open the door or plug in the charger. Well, that's it for the summons on the Model 3.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, we don't have a clean garage to
We can't
to
fit anything in the
summon
garage.
in or out of, so it's good that, you know, someone has a garage that they can show off.
Well,
it's
it's a tight one.
tight garage. You
But it
can't
works.
get in or out of the car when it's in the garage.
Can I just point out how amazing this is?
Yeah.
That a car can go in and out of your garage and not hit anything, and it turns its wheels. I mean, what other car does that? Nothing.
Well, the Model S and the Model X.
Okay, true.
But that's about
That's
it.
it. All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. If you would like to go see them, join our Patreons. It's only $1 a month, and you'll get to see. And we have so many stories. We got to get over there.
Yes. All right, we are back from our Patreon stories.
That was
Holy
incredible.
moly, that was like a
That was-
Tesla Time News in itself.
Yeah.
Whew. I hope we can make it through the rest of the episode. I am exhausted. All right, we have some Patreons that we want to give a special shout out because they support us for $5 or more a month.
Yep.
So let's get right into that. So thank you, Brent Martin,
Robert and Nancy Amadeo,
Nick Cedar,
James Gasser,
Mike Dabrowski,
Eugene Statler,
Todd R. Tarzia.
and Michael Stewart. Thank you, guys.
These guys rock.
It's time for Elon's tweets of the week. Back in 2012, he said, "Do not search for purple squirrels. Giving them attention only makes them want to be more purple." Now, he then tweeted recently, still as true today as it was 6 years ago.
So
What the heck is he talking about?
Yeah. So purple squirrels are basically a perfectly qualified candidate.
So like if you're looking for someone to fill in a job, it's someone who's like perfectly qualified.
Right. And basically what he's
Why
saying,
wouldn't he want perfectly qualified people?
Well, if you read between the lines, what he's saying is that for jobs of today and tomorrow, past experience is not going to perfectly fit anyway. So don't bother wasting all your time and resources looking for it.
Oh, okay, because it's going to be so new that you wouldn't have possibly had experience in that anyway.
Right.
That makes sense.
Today and in the future, let's just think about it. I mean, there are no like, oh, I'm a Fletcher. I make arrows, you know? Oh, good. We need a guy who makes arrows. Do you do anything else? No, I just make arrows. Excellent. Perfect. We don't need anything else. What could we possibly need? We need arrows. This guy makes arrows. Let's hire him.
Because I want to point out something. Just a few years ago, Elon said when he was stuck in traffic, I wish there was like a tunnel to get me from one place to another. Find a few interns. Let's start a company.
Right.
Those interns didn't go work for him at SpaceX because they were thinking of making a tunnel machine.
Right. And they didn't have experience making tunnel machines.
And guess what? Probably some of them are now like VP of management there and stuff because
Right.
they were just smart people.
This is the thing. I mean, you can't just hire someone who's like, perfect fit for this job. You need to mold. I mean, this is... I know that we're talking to you guys and you probably, not all of you own companies, but if you do own a company or you're in a hiring position or you're looking for new people, think about that. Don't look for the purple squirrels.
That's right. All right, it's time for community mail time. We've got this one. Now, remember last week we talked about Tesloop, which is that company in Nevada that drives long distances in their Teslas, and we said that they spent very little money working on their brakes. But we got a bunch of people who wrote to me and said, but they did have to replace their battery twice in that Tesla Model S. I want to point out a couple things. So, yes, they did replace the battery at 194,000 miles, and then it was replaced again at 324,000 miles. The average battery degradation for the vehicle's first 194,000 miles was around 6%.
So this is, and these cars are not like being driven to work and home.
No.
These are being driven
Worked hard.
long ways. They're being
Hot
charged.
desert.
Yeah, hot desert, charged up to 90 to 100% at superchargers. So this is fast charging.
Yeah, so Tesloop has said they charge their cars from 95 to 100% every time, and they charge them every time at a supercharger.
Right.
Those are two things that Tesla recommends not doing, and yet the batteries still did pretty well.
Right.
Because I want to point out, 194,000 miles, and the battery still had 94%.
I want to point out that my Leaf right now, my used Nissan Leaf, has like 60,000 miles on it, and I am pushing 11% battery degradation.
There you go.
I don't even have that big a battery, so the 11% turns into, quite a few miles, which means my range is even smaller. I mean, it's just like, it's so different. It's so different, and you just can't apply it. It's so out there.
Our buddy Valentin in Germany noticed something weird at a destination charger.
Hey, I'm Valentin from Leipzig, Germany, and you can see the heat wave is real. It's not possible to do anything without any cooling method, and because we don't usually have ACs here in Germany, because it doesn't usually get that hot. I'm probably one of the only people who have a ceiling fan, and I must say I'm a big fan. Okay, that jokes to the side. Last week I was in Dresden at the Altmarkt-Galerie, and there is a Tesla destination charger. It's in a parking lot, and I would probably rate it a 9 out of 10 because there's everything that you can imagine. It's right in the middle of the city, and it's a perfect spot. It's only one charger though, but it's basically a perfect spot. One point missing because it's quite an expensive parking lot. But I saw something interesting there. There was no Tesla charging at the Tesla destination charger, but it was a Porsche. I mean, I don't know. I don't own a Tesla. I don't even own a car, and I don't know how it looks like when a Tesla is charging, except for the flashing charging light that is on the charging port itself. But on the plug, is there anything on the plug that you can see that the car's charging? Because I couldn't see anything. I mean, you will see the video while I tell you this, but that is interesting. I thought I'll share it with you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
You're not supposed to charge Porsches at a Tesla destination.
Why
well,
not?
I guess you can.
just have a adapter and you do it.
All right. Well, thank you,
for
Valentin.
it.
All right, this story comes to us from Charlotte Smith and her father, Stephen. And so he said this. A little while ago, Charlotte asked why emissions cause her to cough when she walks around the back of a vehicle. We looked into it, and after writing a science paper for her school, she came up with a truly wonderful feel-good idea. She decided to say thank you to all those who had already decided to drive an EV by way of a thank you card that she could either hand to the driver or leave under a windscreen wiper blade. She's now given out a considerable amount, and the reaction she has received has been immense from not only the EV community, including Robert Llewellyn from Fully Charged, but also those outside the EV community. The brilliance of her thank you cards is not only to give an EV hero warm feel-good feelings, but it also manages to do this without making villains of the current ICE vehicle owners. It also creates the connection between parents, their children, and the environment. Charlotte has already placed 300 cards on cars across Birmingham. Charlotte said, I wanted to encourage more people to drive electric cars, but instead of punishing the people who drive normal cars, I decided to thank those who drove electric cars and hope they would promote it. I love to think that these people are driving home in their electric cars feeling really good about themselves just because I said thank you. Charlotte would love to see children from all around the world give their EV thank you cards in their countries, and as a parent, I can honestly say the voice of a child is much louder than any politician's. Well, thank you, Stephen, for sharing that about your daughter. She sounds truly wonderful. All right, this is me being crazy, Jacy. This is science. I set up a Google questionnaire form you can fill out. It's just 2 questions. And what I want to know is, I want you to take this survey so we can scientifically find out if age has anything to do with cracked smartphone screens. Here's my hypothesis.
Okay, here's your
that the younger you are, the more likely you are to crack your phone screen.
Well, it's not fair. They have smaller hands.
That could be it. I don't know.
Anyway, we need to find this out.
So there's the link.
I don't know why
go fill it out. It'll only
Zach
take you
needs
2
to do
seconds.
this, but
I just need to know, and I'll let you know the answer. I don't think anyone else has this data. This might be a scientific breakthrough. What is this?
So there's a game called Payday 2. It's where you rob banks you virtually rob banks. It's a game. Okay. And you can buy all sorts of neat guns and stuff because it's a game. And there's this weapon.
Yeah, our friend Jason sent us this. Wait, that looks familiar.
Yeah, why don't you see if this looks familiar to you? So this is basically the Boring Company flamethrower put into a video game to be used as a flamethrower, to kill
But
people.
it's not a flamethrower.
It's not a flamethrower. Yeah. right. But I mean, anyway, it's neat. It's going into the popular culture.
That's so cool.
Interesting.
It's time for our Patreon viewer comments, and we asked, do you regularly listen to the Tesla earnings calls? And, well, here's the results. 83 people said, yep, every time. 69 said, sometimes. And 42 said, nope, never.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty good.
Then we asked our Patreons, we were tired of just negative stories. We said, share some positive stories with us. And this story kind of floored Jacy and I. Mm-hmm. My hometown of Redding, California experienced the greatest fire in its history with over 40,000 people evacuating out of the 100,000 who live in Redding. The whole community has come together and shared what we have for those who have lost everything. Over 1,000 homes burned to the ground. I have about a dozen friends and family who lost everything. But we are now stronger as a community because of it. My family's church has opened up a Salvation Army Center and helping families in need. I opened up my house to evacuees and got to help at local shelters. I just finished installing my Tesla charger the day before the fire really broke out. My Model 3 is set for delivery in September. Otherwise, I would love to be helping transport people with that. But this event has really put things in perspective and reminded me the importance of family and ability to share what we have and loving our neighbors and connection to community that brings true happiness and joy. We can lose everything in an instant. Most things can be replaced, but investment in relationships in your community will leave a legacy that will change our future. Love from Redding, Nate. P.S. I was with family and friends while wondering if we were going to lose our homes. I put on your channel and watched it with my dad, as has become our tradition, and it helped us feel a sense of normalcy in a chaotic time. Thank you for what you do in inspiring others to make changes today that will help the future generations. Thank you, Nate, for sharing that with us. I'm really sorry. It really does point out how important community is. And I think one reason why Jacy and I do this every week is because we do feel like we're part of a community.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who's a part of our community, and thank you for making it better and wonderful every week. Time for some more uplifting news. That was supposed to be good news.
It was.
But I mean, whew.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Time for some Supercharger reviews. So all around the world, let's take a look.
Hello, Zach and Jacy. This is Mark coming from Hamilton, New Jersey, and I'm at a 6-stall Supercharger here. And it's has to say that there's about anything you would ever want here, right next to the Barnes & Noble. But there are a bunch of eating places and a bunch of shopping, and pretty much anything you could ask for. So other than only having 6 stalls, I would say that this location's at least a 9 out of 10. Anything you want, close to major arteries, and other than only having 6 stalls, it's really nice. All right, thanks. Catch you guys later.
Hey, Zach and Jacy. This is Daoud Mohamed here, coming to you from the 8-stall Supercharger here in Napa, California. It's at the gateway to the wine country, so it's pretty convenient if you're heading to Napa Valley for a vacation. You can see the stalls here. It's not the most convenient as far as other amenities. There is a Chevron gas station if you need some gas. I don't know why you need any of that. But there is, of course, a convenience store for food, snacks, and restrooms. So there's your 8-stall station.
Hey, Zach and Jacy, this is Rob McFarland at the Seaside Outlet Mall, where there's an 8-stall supercharging station. As you can see, this is one of the new drive-through styles, so you don't have to back your car in to charge it. At the outlet mall, there are several outlet stores where you can do some shopping while your car charges, as well as a movie theater that's within walking distance, several coffee shops within walking distance, and of course, the beach is about a 5-minute walk from the area. Overall, I would give this a 10 out of 10, if for no other reason. It allows us to drive from the Portland, Oregon area to Seaside, charge up, and head back.
Hi guys, this is the Supercharger in Forte dei Marmi in Italy. It's an 8-stall with a drive-in like this. We have a hotel here with a bar, and it's a pool. We sat by the pool, we had some drinks. But other than that, there's not really much to do here, but it's not too far off the highway. I think only 3 minutes or something like that to go up the highway. So, I mean, it's an all right location, but there's not that much to do, so I'll give it probably 5 out of 10 stars.
And again, it's our community
That's
out there.
a community.
Yeah. We're just so lucky to have so many cool people out there who are sharing their experience with us and sharing with the whole community. Hey, it's time for new superchargers that went online. What do we got, Jess?
All right, number 422 in Europe and number 67 in France. There is the 8-stall in Bessecon, France. I think that's how you say it.
Sounds pretty French to me.
Sorry, all of our French viewers and people who know how to speak French.
I'll take the next tough one. The 8-stall in York, Pennsylvania.
The 10-stall urban supercharger in West Schiller Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, I'm going to be there in a few weeks. I'll go maybe shoot a video of it.
Nice.
Number 217 in China is the 10-stall urban in Ningbo, Shangri-La Hotel, China.
A 20-stall urban supercharger at Thousand Oaks, West Hillcrest Drive, California.
And the 1,337th in the world, number 557 in the U.S., is the 10-stall in Tampa at Hyde Park, Florida. All right, you remember Be Free? That's businesses for rewarding Elon employees.
Yep.
We have 32 companies on the list right now. Wow. You can get all sorts of free stuff, so get over there and check it out. This week we want to really highlight this company, which is Intellis. They are a Chicago-based electrical firm, and we specialize in home electrical installations, whether it's a light fixture, mounting a TV on the wall, or installing a Tesla outlet. We can help any EE, that's an Elon employee, with the first 2-hour job for free. This roughly translates into installing 3 to 4 lights. Go check them out.
Yeah.
What a fantastic offer.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to stress, if you're a Elon employee, there are 32 companies willing to give you great deals.
Yeah.
And if you are a company willing to give Elon employees great deals,
we'll plug you.
We're here to plug you, and you can go on our map, and everyone who isn't an Elon employee can still go there and show your support.
That's right. I mean, I'm just so excited. Like, all those employees for the boring company who are going to go to Chicago, start to build that boring tunnel.
That's true.
They're going to need electrical services. And who do you think they're going to go to?
Right.
They're going to go to Intellis.
Absolutely.
We have done over 500 videos, Jesse, and we forget about all the good ones that we've done.
And it's going to be tough for you to pick through 500 videos, so we're going to tell you one that you should go watch. This is an interview with Jacy Bingler from Ecosia. She is the COO of that company. This is a company that is a search engine, and they grow trees
every
when
time
you search.
Bing,
Crazy.
bong, boom. Go do it. All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway.
It's the Patreon giveaway.
Let's do it.
All right. It's great.
It's kind of like big oil, you know? Like,
what is? How is this like big oil?
We could have done this digitally, but we decided to do it in a completely unnecessary way.
This is recycled paper, by the way.
Yes.
Just in case everyone was wondering.
Anyway, if you're a Patreon, you automatically get entered in this. For every $1 that you give, there is a card. Oh, does that one get stuck there? It's not going to get picked.
Sorry.
And you're going to get a T-shirt from SFSF, which are our buddies who make amazing T-shirts. You got to go check them out. And if you're the winner today, you are going to get a free T-shirt from SFSF. If you are not the winner, still go over there and check out what they got. Every time you get a T-shirt, we get a little something on the show, so you're helping us as well.
All right.
Who's the winner, Jess?
Glenn Mullet, you get a free T-shirt from SFSF.
Congratulations, Glenn.
So congratulations. And keep in mind that this is because he is a Patreon.
That's right.
Okay, so there is a company that helps support this show.
Yes.
And they're fantastic. They
are
called
wonderful.
So this is Wonder Capital, and I have some questions about Wonder Capital.
Okay.
So I hear about this 7% return.
7.5%. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Cha-ching! I'm making bank off solar energy.
Okay, I don't get what they do. I don't get how you give them money and they give you 7.5% back.
I know.
So
I thought it was like too good to be true.
Okay, but tell me, how does it work?
All right. They invest in companies that want to put solar on their roof.
Okay.
Because when you put solar on the roof, you're going to make money, right? Because the sun comes out every day. As long as the sun comes out, you're going to make money.
Or you're going to be at least saving money.
Right.
On your electricity bill.
Right. So basically, a company says, I want to put solar on the roof. I need about $150,000 to do that. Most banks are like, I don't know anything about solar. I'm not going to loan you the money. I only want to do it if you're in millions of dollars. Wonder Capital says, aha, there's a need. They bundle these together. They put the solar on the roof, and you make the money because you invested in Wonder Capital. So it's taking your money, putting solar on roofs, money back in the bank. Because solar makes money.
Right. So even if you're like, hey, I want to put solar up somewhere, but I can't really afford to put solar on my house because it would cost, what, like $50,000 $15,000
Right,
or some
you're
crazy amount
doing
of money, right?
good things and making money. It doesn't seem right,
Right.
but it is. That's the cool thing. Like, so for instance, and they're growing. It's 48 financings were completed, totaling 33 megawatts of new solar capacity, all because of me and other Wonder investors. They hit all of their annual return targets. For instance, Wonder investors financed enough new solar in 2018 to offset 32 million pounds of coal burned in their first year of production alone.
Wow. So, I mean, this is pretty legit.
It's
And
a
this is-
win-win-win.
This is why they're our only sponsor of the show.
Yeah,
You'll notice.
and I vetted them personally. I invest in them myself.
And you got the check.
I've been
and
getting.
then-
I get the checks every month.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, you can head over there, check them out. We think that they're pretty cool.
Don't forget, if you want to support our show, you can use our Amazon affiliate link.
Right. We've got 2 of them, one for people in the United States and another one for people in the rest of the world. So if you're thinking of getting anything on Amazon, doesn't even have to be Tesla or us related, get your groceries or what. I don't know what you buy on Amazon.
Hey, and remember, if you're getting a Model 3 Performance Edition, you can use our referral code and get free supercharging for life and a ride in the Tesla next generation Roadster.
Right. This is something that no one thought was going to be a thing. We didn't think it was going to be a thing. Also, if you're buying a Model S or Model X, you'll get the same thing.
That's right.
So use that referral link, and you're helping us to hopefully get a Tesla semi-truck too, because then we get to show the Tesla semi-truck. We'll probably give you a ride in that as well.
That's right. And don't forget, you can listen to us as a podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, or in your Tesla on TuneIn.
Right. Let's say that you're not in the mood or in the financial situation to buy a Tesla like me, but you still want to get in some kind of a Tesla thing and race it around, like a semi-truck.
How would you do that?
Well, you can use our referral code to sign up for the Tesla newsletter.
That must cost a lot of money.
It costs $0.00. It also costs €0 as well, £0, and 0 ounces. And it will put you in a drawing to race the Tesla semi-truck.
What?
So
I can't even imagine how they're going to do that.
I don't know.
On the track,
I don't know what
behind
kind
the
of
Tesla
track.
Fremont factory?
Seems like someone's
Are they
going to
pad the whole thing with
It seems like
foam
someone's
rubber?
Maybe it's semi-autonomous.
virtual?
Maybe it's like autonomous, so that way you can't drive it off the thing. And
I feel
do
like
some
they're going to
assist
be
on
like
it.
Maggie Simpson. They're going to give you a fake steering wheel next to the
so
real driver.
You'll be like, oh.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I'm so glad we just completed our 100th
This is our
episode.
100th episode.
Come on, baby.
Woo! Woo! We did it.
We did it.
Thank you for your help.
Because of you.
We can't possibly do another 200 if you all stopped watching.
Yeah, keep
because
watching.
That wouldn't work. So
Thanks
keep
for
doing
joining
that.
us.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That puts it into some YouTube algorithm, and YouTube goes, oh, I guess the kids think that this is popular these days.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, we better share it with some more folks. And then hopefully, if you all imagine if you all like this video,
Oh my
it will
gosh.
be as popular as the
Casey Neistat.
as that one video.
Gangnam
that
Style?
broke the internet, right?
Yeah.
We'll break the
Hey, let's
internet.
break
with
the
this,
internet.
with this hour-long plus video of 2 men talking about electric cars, huh? What do you say? Thanks so much for watching.
Now you know.